All right, now we're going to move into some debate questions. So we're going to start off with a question, and we're doing this alphabetically, so Gage, you're going to go first, and you'll get 2 minutes to answer. After their 2 minutes is up, I'll send it over to the yes party, and they have 2 minutes to answer the same question. And moving on through the rest of the questions, they'll keep switching back and forth through who starts and who ends.
All right, so the first question is, what is the biggest weakness in your own platform?
I would say the football team, because you are correct about how President Bradshaw said it's not in the foreseeable future, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible. It means that it's something that may not be possible within this year or the next few years, but it's something that we really do want to advocate for because it isn't impossible. Nothing is impossible, and I think that it's something that if we continue to push it and students say, this is something that we want, it might be something that we can get to eventually 5-10 years down the road. I know we are the fastest growing school in the nation, and who knows, maybe it'll be sooner than we think. Woo!
Okay, yes, you have 2 minutes.
We believe the biggest weakness on our platform is that it may seem a little specific. Some of the items may be short-term, but that is because we are not going to waste your time. We want to have a platform that you can say a year later, hey, they did most of that, or they did all of that. We don't want to waste space on this platform card with things that we're not going to do, or we can't do, or we're going to have to make excuses for why we couldn't do them. So it may seem a little short-term, it may seem a little specific, but that's because it's realistic.
Okay. What is the biggest weakness in your opponent's platform? Starting with yes, you have 2 minutes.
Where do I start? Advocate for a wet campus, that's a liability. Provide transportation for select away games, that's already done. Provide service learning hours, already done. Creation of a bike rental program, already done. Institute an Eagle Safe team, providing late night security escorts, already done. Add 7 new director possibilities, some of them already exist, they just renamed them to get votes. So I can go on and on.
This week we've been asked a couple times this same question by students, and I've really answered it the same way. I'm more concerned about what we're going to be providing to the students and not what their platform has to offer. So I'd be more than willing to talk about our platform, but I think that I'm not really interested in having a debate about their platform.
On this one, what have you done to prove to students that you are qualified for and deserve the presidential and vice presidential positions? 2 minutes.
I think that we deserve this, and I deserve this, not only because of what we've accomplished in student government, what we've accomplished outside, and the experiences that you gained. I don't know that necessarily one leadership position is going to give you, I guess, altogether the right to have this position. I think it's a culmination of all the experiences you build. One of those that I've had is traveling to Ghana to do service again with a medical team. We went to a clinic and were able to help underprivileged individuals there. And I think that's something that really opened my eyes, and I became readily available to understand differing viewpoints and the way things were that were different. And it really helped me to believe and understand what's going on. Something that has happened in student government thus far that has helped me to believe that I deserve this position is the Eagle ID Approved program, which we have been continuing to work on, and we've received many businesses around the area, as well as working on the library hours. I know that I've sent plenty of emails and tons of time speaking to the library staff to ensure that over the last finals you all had a 24/7 library. I won't take full credit for it, however the Senate had a major role in taking that, but I know that we were definitely involved. So.
I honestly, I just love this campus so much, and all the opportunities that I've been given since my freshman year with Chi Omega, with Panhellenic, with anything, like all the programming board events, everything that I've been able to experience at this school has given me such a great aspect on this campus, and honestly, I just wish that I will be the best representative of the student body that I can possibly be with my leadership opportunities.
Yes, you have 2 minutes.
For one, I do want to reiterate what Louis Vargas said in the introduction. We do have that balance of leadership. I guess as you can tell from earlier, I'm very outspoken, and he's very good with the internal part of student government. Number two, I don't believe that $4 million are anything to play with. I don't think that's something to play around with without experience. I've done that this year. I know I've had initiatives with several clubs and organizations and departments, and I followed through with my promises and what I said I was going to do. So from the legislative side, that is what qualifies me to be student body president. I will be responsible with my duties, and I will follow through with what I said.
Having been the vice president this past year has given me enormous experience by working with faculty, staff, and administration. Coming to this position when I first started, it really took me at least a few months to get used to what I have to do. Going for vice president again will allow me to start day one, look at my platform ideas, and talk to specific people that I need to work with in order to accomplish what I offer the whole student body. The people are trusting our decisions, and they're raising their vote to see change in our university. I just want to continue working the way I've been working with our current student body president, Peter Carterman. We've had a great year, and great initiatives that we were able to accomplish, and I want to be able to do the same. Like I said before, and like Juan said, we have a balance, and as you can tell if you know me, I work internally with different people, such as my cabinet. I have that work
10 seconds.
ethic that allows me to be goal-oriented and, get things done. So, that's it.
The university has space available behind Westlake Village that is tentatively planned to use as extra field space. What would your campaign do to help support this project? Yes, you have 2 minutes.
We do need more space for recreational space, field use. I know sport clubs, that is a huge, huge priority on their list, and we all see it, we know it. So I would want to make sure that we have the funds to start that. There is a fee that we pay for those type of things, and I would like that to be a priority so we can use that money that we have for more rec space, so that sport clubs can fix that problem that they have to go far, far away to play a simple game or to have practice. That should be here. We should have that for them.
I think that also we need to be working with the outside people that work around us, such as Miramar. They play a big role in our university. They're planning on building a university village right outside of the Sylvia area. And we believe that, for example, it can be an alternative to talk about our great housing plan, even though it may not happen any years from now. Was that we can still make a feasibility plan, and they may want to incorporate that into their village, apartment like for students. That's it.
Engage, you have 2 minutes.
Like Juan said, sport clubs are a major part of this university and definitely something that has been successful in the past. And I too agree that continuing to support and to develop these lands for sport clubs to use is something I am very much in support of. And I hope that working with the administration we can make this happen so that sport clubs can continue to be successful and continue to represent FGCU in the future.
All right, Engage. start off first this time. How do you and your treasurer plan to streamline the purchase request process?
I think after looking at the finance code and taking a look at some places where we've seen, I don't want to say problems, but some small areas that can be, I just want to say, cleaned up, things that enable it to run smoother. I know that he's got, Woodrow has a couple of things that he has in mind to streamline this process. And I think that once we get in and we start talking to some of the clubs and our advisor, we can find a way to truly make it a much simpler process for all the RSOs.
Yes, you have 2 minutes.
The finance code happens to be something I know a little bit about. I'm actually the one that uses that document to do my job, and I am revising it to fill in those holes that it currently has, and then make it better. So along with my treasurer, I believe that not only can I guide him through the process and have him adapt very well, but he's also a highly intelligent individual who cares about the students just like we do. So if I can guide him through that, and he gets adapted to it, the money will be spent responsibly. We can enforce that every line item that was allocated by the appropriation committee this year is being used for what it's meant to be used for all of the fiscal year.
Definitely to streamline this process, we would definitely have to have specific people to go to. You know, if there's any questions, we need to have the treasurer at the office available to answer any questions. So we definitely ensure that if our treasurer gets selected, to be available for the students and provide those answers that need to be answered whenever any question may arise.
Since both of the presidential candidates are currently members of student government, please tell us what you have accomplished thus far in student government to benefit the students at Florida Gulf Coast University. Yes, you have 2 minutes.
When I first got elected and got the appropriations chair position, I noticed that there were some finance code revisions, like I spoke about earlier, that needed to be done. I have those drafted. I have those ready to be submitted. It's just a matter of putting them through Senate. I noticed that there were some gaps and some problems with sport clubs, so there needed to be a section for them so that they can have this problem, and because they did lose out on a lot of funds the previous fiscal year. So I have done that as well. And along with that, my main goal was to have a very productive budget, a very fair budget this year. Like I said, it was $4.2 million. So there was no room for mistakes. There was no room for bias, and I was able to do that. It's going through Senate right now. Second reading will be Tuesday, and I believe we did. I kept the committee as a unit. We voted on everything unanimously, and that is what it takes to have a great $4 million budget.
Engage, you have 2 minutes.
So as I said previously, the Eagle ID approved program was something that Peter came to me and we talked about it, and he wanted me to take the lead on that. That's something, for those of you that don't know, is where we went out into the community and spoke with local businesses at Miramar, Coconut Point, Gulf Coast Town Center, and some smaller shops along Alico and Corkscrew Road, and we tried to see to build a community feel here with those businesses to give them a discount to students by providing your Eagle ID. At the purchase, you would get some sort of a discount. So that would be one thing. The library hours, I know I work behind the scenes, sending emails and meeting with people to ensure that happened along with Peter and the Senate. Also promoting the foundation scholarship is something that is very large, and it's actually the deadline ends March the 1st, so if anyone out there hasn't filled it out, please make sure you do. So this is something that provides money to students, and you fill out one application and you get applied for a variety of different scholarships that give money for multiple purposes, and also continuing to support student government and all of its initiatives that the executive branch has completed.
a balance between student concerns and administrative needs. Engage, 2 minutes.
I think that when you just have to listen to what the students want and continue to take that whenever you go into this Board of Trustees meeting and keep that in mind. Always make sure that you're listening to what the students want and in those meetings, and listening before you speak is definitely a big key, but you can't go wrong whenever you listen to what the students want and present that at those meetings. So that's what we plan to do.
Yes, 2 minutes.
I would have to agree. As student body president, I think one of our primary goals is to spend as much time out of that office as possible. We want to do simple things like going out there and speaking to the students personally, not just through certain meetings and panels. We want to go out there and speak to them face to face. And if we can hear what they want and what they demand and what they need personally, then we, as a Board of Trustees member, everything else would be fine and it'll take care of itself.
As student body president, you will have to take a stance on the university's rising tuition costs. What will your stance be, and how do you plan to defend your opinions of the students at FGCU? Yes, you have 2 minutes.
I would never be for a tuition increase. I don't think any of us want to see a tuition increase. And in order to avoid a tuition increase, we have to voice our opinion. We have to go to Tallahassee. We have to go and meet with representatives and show them that just because we're a smaller school doesn't mean we're a small school. Just because we're a smaller school does not mean that we're not important and we don't deserve funding for higher education. And when we get that message across and they stop cutting our funding for higher education, then we don't have to be faced with the option of increasing tuition, and we can keep our promise of keeping it where it's at and not raising it any further than it is.
Engage, you have 2 minutes.
I would also have to agree that raising tuition is something that no student body president wants to do, as all of us are here working to pay our way through college. It's something that no student wants to do, is be able to continue to have tuition go up. I know that some of us struggle sometimes with money as it comes to paying for that tuition, and that's definitely something that I definitely would not condone or support, is an increase in the tuition for any student.